Trust. It's one of those words people toss around casually, but for me, it was the foundation of my life, until the day it shattered. My name is Olivia Harris, and I was born and raised in Seattle, Washington. I grew up believing in honesty, in keeping your word, and in holding tightly to the people you love. I never imagined that one of the closest people in my life would betray me so deeply that it would leave a permanent scar on my heart. This is my story. It started like any other summer in Seattle, with the faint mist of rain mixing into the sunlight and the air smelling faintly of salt from Puget Sound. I was 28 at the time, working as a project manager in a small marketing firm downtown. My life wasn't glamorous, but it was stable. I had a tight-knit circle of friends, and at the center of that circle was Claire Matthews. We had met in college at the University of Washington and bonded over our shared love for books, coffee, and spontaneous road trips. She was the kind of friend who felt more like family, loyal, dependable, always the one to answer my 2 a.m. calls when I couldn't sleep. So when Claire introduced me to her boyfriend Ethan Miller, I welcomed him with open arms. He seemed kind, respectful, the type of guy who held doors open and remembered the little things. At first, I thought he was perfect for her. But beneath the surface, things weren't what they seemed. The first time I noticed something odd, it was small, hardly worth mentioning. Claire and I were out shopping, and Ethan called her 3 times in the span of 20 minutes. Each time, his voice on speaker was sharp, asking where she was, who she was with, when she'd be home. Claire brushed it off with a laugh. "He just worries too much," she said. I nodded, but a knot settled in my stomach. Worry was one thing, control was another. Over the months, I had noticed more cracks. Ethan would cancel plans with Claire at the last minute, but get angry if she dared to make plans without him. He criticized her choices in clothes, even her career, telling her she could do better, but never clarifying what better meant. Still, I stayed quiet. It wasn't my relationship. My job was to be supportive, not judgmental. Or at least, that's what I told myself. One Friday evening, Claire invited me and a few friends over for a small dinner at her apartment. Ethan was there, of course, playing the charming host with his easy smile and witty jokes. If you didn't know better, you'd think he was the perfect partner. Later that night, when most people had left and I was helping clean up, Ethan offered to walk me to my car. We stepped outside into the cool Seattle night, the sound of distant traffic humming in the background. I was about to thank him and say goodbye when he stopped walking. "Olivia," he said, his tone suddenly different, low, serious. "Can I tell you something?" I frowned. "Sure." He hesitated, then leaned closer. "I think I made a mistake with Claire. The truth is, I've always felt something for you." My heart dropped. I took a step back, shaking my head. "Ethan, don't. You're with Claire. She's my best friend." He smirked, like my protest didn't matter. "You don't have to tell her. No one ever has to know." For a moment, I was frozen in shock. Then I found my voice. "No. This conversation never happened. If you care about Claire at all, you'll forget you said that." I left quickly, my hands trembling as I drove home. I didn't sleep that night. Ethan's words played over and over in my head, twisting my stomach into knots. Should I tell Claire? Would she believe me, or would she think I was trying to sabotage her relationship? By morning, I had made my decision. I had to tell her. When I sat across from Claire at our favorite cafe, my chest felt heavy. "There's something you need to know," I began carefully. "Last night, Ethan said something to me. Something completely inappropriate." Her eyes narrowed. "What do you mean?" I took a deep breath. "He told me he had feelings for me. He suggested we could keep it a secret from you." For a long time, Claire just stared at me. Then she laughed. But it wasn't her usual carefree laugh. It was sharp, almost bitter. "You must have misunderstood," she said. "I didn't," I insisted. "Claire, I would never lie about this. I care about you too much." But she shook her head. "Ethan loves me. He would never do that. Maybe you're misreading things." Her words stung, but the look in her eyes hurt even more. She didn't believe me. Days turned into weeks, and Claire grew distant. She stopped inviting me over, stopped answering my texts. When I finally confronted her, she admitted Ethan had told her his version of the story, that I had come onto him. The betrayal hit me like a punch to the gut. Not only had Ethan twisted the truth, but Claire, my best friend, had chosen to believe him over me. I tried to defend myself, but her mind was made up. "I can't do this anymore, Olivia," she said coldly. "I think it's better if we don't see each other for a while." And just like that, the person I trusted most cut me out of her life. The weeks that followed were some of the hardest of my life. I had lost not only my best friend, but also my faith in the bond we had built. Everywhere I turned in Seattle reminded me of her. Our favorite bookstores, the coffee shops we spent hours in, the parks where we walked and dreamed about the future. I threw myself into work, into long hours and endless projects. But no matter how busy I kept myself, the loneliness lingered. It wasn't until I started therapy that I began to understand what had happened. My therapist told me something I'll never forget. Sometimes, betrayal doesn't reveal who you are, it reveals who they are. You can't control their choices, but you can choose how to heal from them. A year later, I ran into Claire by chance at a bookstore. She looked tired, her smile forced. We exchanged polite words, but beneath it, there was an unspoken understanding. Things could never go back to how they were. As I walked away, I realized something. I didn't need her apology anymore. I didn't need her to believe me. I knew my truth, and that was enough. Life has a way of teaching us lessons we never asked for. For me, the lesson was simple but powerful. Trust is fragile. Once broken, it can never return to what it once was. But beneath the surface of betrayal, I also found strength. I learned to stand on my own, to believe in my worth even when others doubted it. And though I carry the scar of that broken trust, I also carry the resilience it gave me. This is my story, and it will always remind me of one thing. People may break your trust, but they can never break your spirit, unless you let them.